Hi, how are you? Hope you're good. This week we're talking about home healthcare crisis. So for question one, it says problems faced by caregivers to adult children or grandchildren. A few things I thought about was where are the grandchildren or even adult child going to live after they decease? A lot of places, such as nursing homes, only take the elder person and will not accept the family member. Money is a big issue because they're not working anymore, or a lot of them are not working anymore. So, Social Security is not enough to make up for that, and that can cause a lot of struggles in life that are unnecessary, which will just increase your aging because you're stressing about things you shouldn't be stressing about. And then I thought generational gaps would be a challenge because I know my grandparents, when they see me, are really confused about the whole cell phone era or like Twitter and Facebook and even some things on TV, like the tweets will pop up on the bottom and they don't get what it's from. So it could just be a communication barrier if you're trying to, an 80-year-old's trying to raise a 17-year-old type of thing. It could be a big difference. For adult children, that might not be as big a generational gap, but they might have a mental issue, which is why they're still living with their parents at that age. I actually have my boyfriend's uncle is lives with his mom. He is 60 and he lives with his mom who's 80, but he does in fact have a learning disability which is incapable for him to live on his own. But they have talked about maybe putting him in a group home to try and take the bear off of her because she is getting older. And luckily, she lives in an elderly home that allowed her to bring her son with her. So they kind of live in a mini apartment setting. But if she ever needed more help, he can't help her. If she ever needed to go into a single living home with just her and her friends, he's kind of out of luck. So we have those things you have to think about where you're comfortable when you're 60 and they're 40. But what happens now that he's 60 and you're 80? For question two, the growing demand because more people want to. Oh, why is there a growing demand? I said because more people want to live at home longer, which would require more visiting nurses, which requires more frequent visits, and that can increase that. And people are not flocking towards the home healthcare system because of traveling. You're not sure where you're going to go. You could be a home nurse aide and travel 30 miles a day just to see three people. And one thing as a PT, I know I don't want to be like a traveling PTA because of going into someone's house. You're not really sure what situation you're going to walk into. You're not really sure, especially if it's a new client, you're not really sure the conditions of the house, the mental status of that person. You're just alone with that person. It could just be very uncomfortable for someone that's not comfortable in that situation. For four, what can we do to value this occupation more? I think just have more respect for them. You have to maybe not hold them to a different standard, but you need to have more respect and understand what they do on a daily basis. The patients they're dealing with, they may be super stubborn, that they do not realize what bad condition they are in. Even higher pay. I know some traveling PTAs do get higher pay. I'm not sure about nurses, but make it enough that people don't feel like it's an inconvenience that this is their job. Has my family ever spoken openly about what they want to do? Jokingly. My parents are still young. They're still only in their. My dad's 48. My mom is 47. They are still very young in their years and living on their own and don't want to think about that. They joke about when they pass on that they want to maybe be cremated or buried, but they've never really talked about the stage before that. And I personally have never thought about it because I am 22 and still trying to move out of the house. So I think I need to think about short-term goals more than what I want to do in 60 years. But that could be wrong on my part. And then I think I watched the 3 videos, and out of my 3, the MSNBC one was my favorite. Not my favorite, but it was the easiest to watch. And I liked that they said you need to start planning earlier in life than later. And even when like you go and see your grandparents for the holidays, how you can be checking up on them by looking at how they're walking, how they're eating, just the way they talk to you. Are they asking you repeated questions? So it's not like registering. Are they there? Just small things like that. It doesn't require a doctor to see that. Oh wow, Grammy seems a little off today. Like I hope everything's okay. So it's just being really aware of your settings, which I think that video is really easy for everyone to be like, wow. I mean, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas. That's easy enough to do. So, yep. Have a good week.